Hi, I'm Monica Packer, and you're listening to About Progress, where we are about progress made practical. The day before this episode airs, my toddler turns 2 years old. Now, you probably think that I have talked about this caboose baby a lot and about the big transition his little life brought to me and to my family. You probably think I've talked about it too much, because I've so often alluded to the shock adding this child brought to every level of my life, hurtling me into what I often refer to as my survival year. I've actually been quite cognizant of just how often I bring this year up. From the podcasts to posts on Instagram to other podcasts I've guested on. But despite trying not to talk about it every second, I find it breaking through all the time. And I guess I'm done feeling embarrassed about it, because that year, while so very challenging, was also incredibly refining and edifying of the work I have spent years creating. Everything I had learned up to that point was being challenged. The most basic of questions I had helped women answer for years were now the ones I had in front of me again. Who am I? Who am I if my capacity dramatically changes overnight? Who am I when my season shifts? Who am I when my typical outcomes disappear? Who am I if I can't support myself in the same way because my time and my energy is even more limited? Trudging through my own year of struggle and self-questioning was extremely humbling. It reminded me just how much I had forgotten of the very early days of motherhood. It helped me feel even more compassion to my past self, to old Monica, who started this work 10 years ago while at the peak of that all-encompassing time. It made me proud of that past self for having the courage to try to find another way, to persevere, and to find ways to progress, sidestepping the sacrificial demand of martyr motherhood I thought I was supposed to uphold. So I'm really proud of how I made it through that first year after he was born, mostly because I did my best to truly practice what I preach, namely by dialing everything back to what truly mattered the most. So gone were the habits that weren't practical to my season. Bon voyage to the demands constantly calling to me that truly weren't as important as they thought they were, or as I thought they were. And sayonara to everything beyond the most basic and essential. I know now even more that I made it through that time because, while in the simplest of ways, I made it on my own list. From 5-minute showers to 10-minute long stretching sessions to listening to audiobooks while rocking a baby who could not figure out how to sleep day or night. In these smallest but most important of ways, I fought for me, and in ways that were not ignorant of my real life. And because of that, I was able to be me in ways that counted most. So I could show up for these very real responsibilities in front of me in this hard season, but also for myself. Now, I'm going down memory lane here because it's all been top of mind for me, not only with the birthday, but also because I recently coached a progressor named Sarah about a similar thing she's going through, a survival time. When we spoke, she was postpartum with her 7th child. And that alone gave me the sympathy shakes, I gotta tell you. But to top it all off, Sarah was also about to move. So she came to the coaching call eager to figure out how to consistently prioritize herself during this tumultuous season, and all in ways to match the challenges that also come with her having ADHD. This coaching call is for anyone going through their own difficult time, a time that not only challenges what they can do, including how they take care of themselves, but also how they see themselves. You will hear me coach Sarah through the way she views consistency and herself. You'll hear us brainstorm ways she can be on her list, and you'll also hear the practical application we walked through, helping her actually do so. And my hope is that as you listen, you can do the same for you. You can put yourself on your own crowded list, even during a very busy season. That coaching call is coming up after a quick break for our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by Air Doctor. Americans take about 20,000 breaths a day and spend an average of 90% of their time indoors. The indoor air that we breathe can be up to 100 times more polluted than outdoor air, according to the EPA. Indoor air pollutants can cause respiratory symptoms like sneezing, congestion, scratchy throat, and even more serious health problems. So what's the solution? Air Doctor, an award-winning purifier that eliminates 99.99% of dangerous contaminants like allergens, viruses, smoke, gases, mold spores, and more. Air Doctor was voted Best Air Purifier by Newsweek, so it's no surprise that 98% of Air Doctor customers agree their home's air feels safer, cleaner, and healthier. And we are in that boat. We live in the Salt Lake Valley, which is famous for many good things, but infamous for its smog because we basically live in a giant bowl. A couple weeks back, we had one of those bad air quality weeks where people were not supposed to go outside much at all. And I noticed that my Air Doctor was not only working well and how clean the air felt inside our house, it was also working overtime and automatically too. Unlike other air purifiers, Air Doctor captures invisible particles 100 times smaller than standard HEPA filters. Head to airdoctorpro.com and use promo code MONICA to get up to $300 off today. Air Doctor comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee plus a 3-year warranty, an $84 value free. Get this exclusive podcast-only offer now at airdoctorpro.com. That's AIRDOCTORPRO.com using promo code MONICA. One of the long-standing things that has connected us as a community is the Do Something list. The first one I ever made way back in 2016 totally changed my life and actually led to this podcast. And I have heard from hundreds of women over the years from the About Progress community that the Do Something list has changed their lives too. What is it? Well, it's a way for you to prioritize your own fulfillment, to explore who you are, and all outside the pressures of goals and resolutions. If you're ready to have more hobbies, to have more creativity, to have more fun, or rest, or connection this year, whatever it is, make sure you make your own Do Something list. To help you, I have a free training that is ready for you online right now. Go to aboutprogress.com/DSL, and you can sign up for my free training, which includes a video and audio workshop, resources, including a guide and examples of so many DSLs from real women of this community. Again, go to aboutprogress.com/DSL to get your free training. Sarah, thank you so much for doing this coaching call.
Yeah, I'm excited to do it.
Can you start by giving us an introduction?
Sure. So you'd say I love all things artistic and creating and designing and all the things, but and I have ADHD. And so I love creating, but it can be hard on a regular daily basis because I tend to kind of fly by the seat of my pants, and consistency has always been very, very, very hard for me. As a mom, I've realized how important it is to be consistent, and yet it's like fighting for it every day.
Got it.
And so I would say I love the creative part of me. Like, that's one of the things I love most. But when it comes to actually having to be responsible and keep a timeline and keep structure with getting kids to school, picking them up, having meals ready on time, even consistent habits of exercising or getting ready. It's really, really, really hard. So
is that what brought you here today? Is that what you'd like to dig into? This consistency issue?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be. And maybe I'll just say Consistency in general, and then when big life changes are happening,
Mm,
because we're actually going to be moving in the next month, and that was uh has come about very quickly. And so it's really easy for me to hyper focus on, oh, let's find all the furniture and like let's be planning this and creating that space. But then, oh, my kids need me now. They need to read a book, or I need to like get groceries, or
yeah.
so I think consistency, but then also consistency when the road is a little rockier or a little more unknown,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah. I would like to know, when I say the word consistent, like what does that bring up for you? What do you think someone who is consistent looks like? What does consistency look like?
Doing things on a regular basis. I would almost say reliable, or like a rhythm, it's a
Mm,
rhythm of living. Um, Almost like muscle memory, where you get in this mode and you can just go, instead of it being like where it feels like this extreme effort.
mm-hmm.
Like where
Okay.
you just kind of you get into this flow and this
Mhm.
momentum, and you don't have to like find it every day. Like you just kind of get in the saddle and go.
Okay. So ease, like someone who can be regular and reliable and have a good rhythm with ease.
Yes, and I will say, Monica, so I started following you maybe a year ago, maybe a little longer. Actually, it's been longer. But I love getting on your stories and seeing like you do the shot of your legs like while you're biking, and then seeing like your partially clean kitchen, and seeing, and it's just like, one, it's so real. But two, I'm like, okay, if she can sit down on her bike every morning, like I could totally do that. And I was actually for 6 weeks, but now I'm having a foot problem. And so
Oh,
I kind
darn
of
it.
figured that out. But
Yeah.
just to say, like, I really admired that. And that's when I heard about this coaching call. I'm like, yes, I would love to talk to Monica, because seeing you do it and making it a reality, it's really awesome.
Well, you know what's so funny is there are touch points to my day that are consistent, but a lot of times they happen not at the same time of day or in the exact same order. And most of my life, like 80 to 90%, is very flexible. Like it is
Mm,
kind of flying by the seat of our pants. And this kid needs to be here and there. And what time should I start dinner? And I got to clean up that, or that thing just happened that now I have to take care of it. So
yeah.
I always hesitate to share those regular things because I don't want it to be like, this is what consistency looks like. You're doing the exact same thing at the exact same time every day. And my whole life is like this.
Well,
But
I
it's
love
to
that you
show the
say
touch
touch
points.
points,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it.
Okay. We're going to come back to that. I'm
Sure.
interested. Like, I love that your definition of consistency is, it seems that there is some built in flexibility there. Like, it's about being reliable, but not being perfect. It's about being regular, but it doesn't mean everything has to be exactly at the right time. So I think you have a pretty realistic look on consistency. The only thing I'm wondering is if you have a realistic look about what kind of person is consistent. So can you paint the picture
Okay.
for that? What type of person is consistent?
Maybe, okay. Well, one thought is putting certain things as priority. For instance, exercising and showering and getting ready. Like, I don't love to do that, but um those are things I would like to make consistent. It's like it's maybe like a consistent person is someone in part that shows up
Mm,
having, maybe it's going to make me cry, having honored themselves
mm,
um in a way that they feel like capable to take on the rest of their day.
okay.
Like, I think I show up, I feel like I show up frazzled and like
Mm,
um where, like today, like no one can see me other than you right now, but like I haven't showered, I haven't done makeup, like I'm just making it through, which I'm proud of myself. Like I'm doing great things today, but I don't feel confident showing up. because I haven't taken time for myself to show up in a way where it's like, oh, I feel settled, I feel confident, I feel ready to go. Um, Now I will say though, with that, I mean, I have 7 kids. I've got 2 at home. One's a 3-year-old, one is 5 months old. And I joke with my husband, I'm like, "Honey, I I dress for the occasion. Like, I'm getting spit up on.
Yeah,
I'm dealing with messes, laundry, like weeding the garden, running kids around." I don't know. It's like on the days, like the off days when I do get ready, I'm like, why?
yeah,
Why am I getting ready to show up to clean and sweat? And so maybe that's part of it too, is trying to reconcile those 2 realities or those
for
that
sure.
vision with the reality.
Yeah. So the reason I pushed you to describe how you imagine someone who is consistent is because I wanted to see if it matched up with a more realistic take on consistency. And I think it does in many ways. Someone who's good at prioritizing, someone who shows up to honor themselves, someone who's capable and confident. This is good because you didn't say someone who's like super type A and very rigid and extremely disciplined and, essentially perfect. So the only thing I'm wondering about then is, do you disqualify yourself from even this way of seeing someone who's consistent? Like, do you think you, as a mom who's creative and who has ADHD, can still be a consistent person?
It feels like type 3 might be the wrong word, but it feels like this dream that can't be achieved right now because and you get it, like, with babies and everything where you're
Yeah,
like
you're
so maybe, like, deep down, I don't feel like it's possible, but I
yeah.
really want it to be possible.
Okay. I want to point out something. With the person you described, I think the feelings are what matter the most. Someone who feels capable and confident. So I want to tell you that even in this more survival season, even with neurodiversity flowing through your veins and very unpredictable schedules, and you being this creative soul, you can still show up to your life in a way that is consistent for you, not someone else, consistent for you, that makes you feel capable and confident. We have to
Really?
believe that. Otherwise, there's this weird thing we do with our brains. Like, if we don't believe something will work, we don't really
Yeah.
Um, and I don't say
No,
that as like toxic positivity, like believe and then do it. Like, do it now, do it my
no.
way. It's more of like, let's believe this so we can get into the process of what it looks like to figure out what consistency looks like for Sarah, for you during this season.
No, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. This house that we are gonna be buying needs a lot of updating,
Mm,
and I'm like, "Okay, creative mind, let's go."
yeah,
Like, I can figure this out, but if I don't have a vision, then I can't hit the ground running because what direction do I go? What do I
that's
do?
right.
So, having a so I yeah, it totally makes sense. To have a vision, you've gotta envision it to make it a reality. So,
So before we
yeah.
dig into the practical side of this, can I just do a teeny bit of teaching? And
Yeah.
this may be a bit more of a refresher. Since you have followed me for a little bit, then you probably know my definition of consistency, which is doing your best most of the time over time. And that means two things. That means your target is more times than not. That's what we're aiming for. More times than not,
Mm,
if you're hitting it, more times than not. So it could even be like 4 out of 7. Then you are consistent. Okay. The other thing this means is your best is allowed to change. It's allowed to
mm,
change day to day. It's allowed to change season to season, such as like a big life circumstance, like you needing to move or having a newborn still, or just having a low moment, maybe with your mental health or anything that may entail. So your best is allowed to change. So consistency is best made possible with flexibility in mind.
Mhm.
So to create consistency for you, I want to figure out not all the things that you want to be consistent in, because I think that can come along for the ride. Like, I think we can get clear on what familial responsibilities you really want to be more consistent in, even if it's just starting with getting the kids to school on time or having dinner ready, for a certain time. But what I'm hearing is for you to feel capable and confident, we need consistent touch points for your day that are just about you honoring yourself.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It sounds nice. I'm like, okay, that would take some work, right, to make it a possibility and a priority.
Hmm.
But I like the sound of it.
Well, how about we work on casting a bit of a vision here to see if this feels more like I want this and I can do this, because we're going to get a vision. We're also going to figure out how to make it work for you. So when I say touch points, I'm talking about how can we create, starting with one touch point in your day that helps you feel more grounded and like you're showing up for yourself so that you can be flexible enough to be reactive to your circumstances, meaning your people, your kids, your
Yeah.
responsibilities there. Okay. So you can feel more like yourself. You can feel more capable and confident.
Hmm.
Okay.
Honestly, I mean, getting ready would be great.
Okay, so getting ready. Tell me more. Let's like kind of brainstorm a bit. What could be those things during the day that could help you feel capable and confident, like you're honoring yourself, showing up for yourself?
So, like I said, getting ready, but then my next thought is of connecting with my kids, and that's not per se for me, but there's the mom guilt that nags on me, and so it feels heavy and like
Got
hard,
it.
you know?
Okay.
And so I'm like, that's honestly my next thought is because I can get very hyper focused on the projects and the cleaning and
Mhm.
whatever, but to make sure that I'm giving my kids the attention that they need. Um, yeah. Anyway, I don't know if that is what you're looking for, but
Well, actually, so what I'm doing is I'm actually making two lists, like some touch points for you, touch point for your family, and your
mhm.
slash your responsibilities. Um, because it sounds like connecting with your kids could add some of that. You would feel like more confident in whatever you're doing, even if a lot of what you're doing is putting out fires. But if you're taking a moment to connect with your kids, then it will help you with everything else going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
put down there like eventually it could be like dinner or school, drop off, pick up. This is all just part of like we're kind of almost creating a blueprint of where you want to head eventually with things, okay? Um,
Mhm.
for yourself, you said getting ready. Is that really the thing that was just so forefront in your mind that like, you know what, Monica, I just know that's what I want to focus on, and we can just do that.
Sure, let's do it. Because it's been a struggle my whole life.
Okay. So this is where I want you to get a picture of what getting ready would ideally look like for you. But when I say ideally, notice I said for you. So when I say for you, I mean for this time, this season, like
Mhm.
postpartum, about to move, like big life stuff going on. So ideally, what would getting ready look like in those circumstances?
Yeah. It's funny. It feels so vulnerable because the reality is I'm losing a bunch of hair with the postpartum shed.
Oh,
And so I'm
yes.
like, I can't even. So I usually, if I like to wash my hair when I can like do it, like and make it look nice. But I'm like, I feel like I can only pull it up. And anyway, so you can see things that are getting in my way mentally.
No, this is good. This is all helpful.
So yeah, I mean, probably showering more consistently, even if I can't. I don't know. In my mind, showering is more of like getting all like put together to go somewhere like
Because you have a
nice,
full
and I don't do
picture.
that a lot.
Okay. So this is good because as we're getting clear on why, like, what's the biggest obstacle to you showering, like to getting ready is because to me, that like sounds like a church day. Like I get ready
Mm.
for church a lot different than I do in my day-to-day life.
Yes.
So if that were the ideal for my day-to-day life, like it wouldn't be practical. Like it wouldn't actually match my
Yeah.
reality. Maybe it
Mhm.
can match Sunday reality, but not my day-to-day reality. So
Yes.
for your day-to-day, like ideal, you do keep coming back to, I want to shower. Maybe I
Mhm.
want my hair to be done. I don't mean washed, blow dried, and styled. I just mean like I've at least put a nice ponytail in.
Right. Mhm.
Okay, so hair done. I'm putting that in quotes to show like what I mean.
Yeah.
Ponytails, great. What else? Or if anything,
And then
that could be it. But
yeah, I mean, brushing teeth, deodorant, and like a little makeup, um, and then again, if I'm being honest, it's the ever changing female body
yeah,
from pregnancy to postpartum to nursing to so that can be hard too. All these
yes, it
things are
can.
like, and I like fashion, and it's hard to be like, oh, I can't wear half of these things right now.
Hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, picking some things, being willing to say, okay, I may not be able to be as fashionable as I want when I get ready, but maybe having like a clean outfit that looks put together.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm going to come back to that obstacle because I think it's valid, and we do want to make sure we go with that. But so for your ideal, like most days, like a regular weekday, I want to shower, wear clean clothes, have the hygiene steps taken care of, have my hair done, and a little makeup.
Hmm.
Right? Okay. So
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. This episode is proudly sponsored by LolaVie, an award-winning hair care line founded by the ever fabulous and ever iconic Jennifer Aniston. You know that feeling when you have a really great hair day? You feel like you're unstoppable, maybe more charismatic, you can't stop touching your hair. I've been having more of those kind of good hair days, and that's exactly why Jennifer Aniston set out to create LolaVie, to bottle up all those good feelings. Now, with the new year, it's time for you to experience those new feelings by prioritizing taking care of yourself in this simple way, having great hair care products. LolaVie's lineup consists of clean, plant-powered products designed for every hair type and texture so you can have silky, shiny hair without sacrificing hair health. This award-winning brand is powered by their naturally derived peptide bond builder known as B-Pro3 bond technology. It's derived from chia seeds and clinically proven to prevent, protect, and repair signs of aging and damage on hair. It combats the damage right where it starts, guarding against dryness and breakage while delivering high-performance results. I have been a big fan of the restorative shampoo and conditioner, and I've been a big fan of all of the styling products from the glossing detangler to the air dry cream and so much more. You can unlock Jennifer Aniston approved hair at lolavie.com and celebrate the new year with stronger, healthier hair. As our loyal listeners, you'll get an exclusive 15% off your entire order when you use the code PROGRESS at checkout. That's 15% off your order at lolavie.com with promo code PROGRESS. Please note that you can only use one promo code per order and discounts can't be combined. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Your hair will thank you. Now that the holidays are ending, I bet you thought your list would get a lot less intense, but I'm sure it's not. With so much going on all day, every day, I want you to think about where you are on your own list. It is so hard to prioritize ourselves, but that's what we need to do so that we can show up as ourselves to our responsibilities. If you find yourself showing up as a less than ideal version of you as you are starting this new year, I want you to think about how you could put yourself on your own list. And here's one way you can do that. Get on the wait list for my first Sticky Habit Intensive for 2025. We are starting mid-February. The intensive is my 21-day live course, community, and challenge that helps busy women form habits that stick. The kind of self-care habits that make women feel more like themselves. Past participants have prioritized feeding themselves lunch, time to work on family history, morning workouts, evening reading sessions, meal planning, and so much more. I am betting any to all of those things sound good right now. So get on the waitlist for the next Sticky Habit Intensive as spots are capped, and the waitlist not only gets first dibs to join before the general public, but they get a decent discount to boot. You can do so by clicking on the link in the show notes or going to aboutprogress.com/intensive. I don't plan to host intensive very many times this year, so get on your list by getting on mine and go to aboutprogress.com/intensive. What about if you have pretty low energy, or you were up a lot at night with the baby, or there's a lot to do that day with a move? What could be the smallest and simplest version of getting ready?
Doing hygiene and putting on clean clothes.
Okay. So when you say hygiene, it's like brush teeth, deodorant, clean clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Would that lend to you feeling more confident? Even the
Yeah, I
baseline
think so.
version? What about more
Yeah.
capable?
Yeah, and maybe I can share something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I've dealt with anxiety and depression, and after starting therapy, I started seeing things differently. And I remember switching the thought. It used to be like I'd see piles of laundry and be like, "Oh my gosh, why can't I keep up with this?" And then the shift was, "Oh wow, I have laundry to do. That means I've been like getting ready, and I've been like changing clothes, and I've been doing things."
Yes,
So anyway, that's a side note, but
that's an
yeah,
important shift, right?
yeah,
And similarly, I want you to make that internal shift about what you think getting ready is. For you, it's just about the basic form is hygiene and clean clothes. Anything else is a
yeah,
cherry on the top, whether you just swipe on a tinted chapstick and you have a cute scrunchie in the hair, or you're wearing like your favorite shirt, something like that.
yeah,
That would
yeah.
that will help you feel capable and confident. And having this baseline version of it will help you have the flexibility you need with this habit to be consistent.
So Monica, one thought I just had as
Mm-hmm.
a creative, I think I'm realizing in my mind I have to be creative in
With
getting
your
ready.
outfit. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so to say, like when you said put on your favorite shirt, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's kind of novel to just have one shirt that's a go-to instead of feeling like I have to reinvent the wheel every day and just being like, oh, I can have baseline outfits and I don't have to prove myself creatively. Like
Yeah.
anyway, that's a big epiphany.
Well, funnily enough, that's actually what I was going to bring up next. To work with your obstacle of having clothes that fit you well, we also see the obstacle of you wanting them to match this creative side of you. So you can go two ways with that. Like
Yeah.
you can decide, I want the outfit to fit well and feel good in my body even more than I want it to look and feel creative at this point. So maybe my accessories can be where I shine on that, like a fun pair of earrings or maybe a necklace, which you see me wearing my creative artistic necklace today that I just got out of festival, that makes me feel very artsy, even though I'm wearing a black shirt. Okay. You can decide either way, like what's going to fit you better. But what I wanted to suggest is perhaps having a capsule wardrobe of sorts to get you through this postpartum period and maybe beyond. Of if you can even spend 30 minutes, and you don't have to go through your whole closet. You don't have to go through the what do I donate? What do I sell? What do I throw away? What do I mend? You don't need to do that. I just want you to just quickly go through and be like, this, I feel comfortable in this now. I feel cute in that. I like the way these pants fit, and just have those in a certain spot of your closet, but those will be the things you wear,
Mm, yeah.
whether they're just about feeling good or they're also about feeling creative or
Yeah.
some of the
That's a
other.
good point.
So tell
Hmm.
me,
Yeah.
does that feel practical or helpful? Or if not, you can tell me that too, and we can work through it.
No, it does definitely. I think that's great. And I love that you can even include something creative in the capsule, right? It doesn't just
Yes.
have to be bland. It can be, okay, I had some extra time today to think through something creative and I'll put it in my capsule wardrobe so it's ready to go and I don't have to figure it out on the
Mm-hmm.
go, I guess.
So this may be my little
Yeah.
homework assignment for you tonight is to spend 30 minutes. Like I'm going to even cap you like 30 minutes tops. Just maybe this could even be done in 10 minutes. Just pick out the pieces that feel and look good to you right now and put them in a place that's easier to reach. And that's just your section for now. Okay.
Yeah.
And you could do that with your accessories too if you want, but maybe you decide one or the other that will help you feel I want you to still feel creative. Like I still want you to lean into that side of yourself. I think it will help you feel ready. But I also think it will help you
Yeah.
feel the other feelings that you've pinpointed matter to you.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, I see the
Yeah.
shift already. Like, it feels lighter. You're smiling. This is great. Okay, so you let me know how that little homework piece goes. Now that we know what the habit's going to look like, okay, on a day to day. So we're not thinking like getting nicely ready, like for a bigger event or church or whatever. We're thinking day to day shower. Hopefully, that's something that could take like 20 minutes total. But your
Hmm.
baseline version could take less, like 5 minutes, right? Just to do a quick hygiene
Yeah.
and wear clean clothes. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to make sure this is strategic enough because well, I don't have ADHD. I have several children that do. So and they're all different. I have every type of ADHD in our family so far. But I know one thing that
Yes.
does help is having, just like we said, touch points, right? Like one of the reasons why
Yeah.
we have touch points as a routines with our family is for our ADHD kiddos. So they know like they
Mm,
have that predictability of every morning I make my bed, get dressed, come up, empty the dishwasher, then make my lunch. Like they know that order for them. That's a
right.
touch point. And then after that, it's open or most of what we do as a family is open. So I'm not saying we need to go through all of that for you, but I want to have that some predictability. So that way you're
Hmm.
not wondering, when do I get ready?
Yes.
Okay. And it can still be flexible because a lot of your life is still going to be flexible right now. So I want us to pinpoint a when here. Okay. So we can attach this new then. Like, so
Yeah.
when this happens, then I'll get ready. Okay. So what could that
So,
be?
well, thankfully, I would say just maybe a month ago. So I pump exclusively because my baby, anyway, he was
So
in the
much work.
nursery.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the nursery for like a day and a half with, tubes and machines
Oh,
and
I'm so
stuff. And
sorry.
anyway, and then he just didn't want to nurse. And
Mm.
so I pump exclusively. And I finally found this rhythm like a month ago where if I go to bed, I know it sounds crazy, but if I can try to pump for the last time by 11 or midnight, and then my husband takes the night duty or whenever, like if he wakes up in the night, and then if I get up at 6 and pump, then at 6:30 my middle schoolers start waking up and I feel energized enough that okay, I can take the morning shift while my husband sleeps a little longer. And anyway, so if I and now I am not on a perfect schedule as pumping because life happens, and so I'll be
Mm.
like, "Oh my gosh," like I'll have my alarm going off, but I'm still making dinner or, whatever. But if I could try to shoot for like finishing pumping like a half hour earlier, then maybe I could get up a half hour earlier. Am I making sense?
Yeah. You could do that. And I think that's something we can work towards. Like that's kind of the bigger ideal of shifting your wake up time, which honestly I think would shift your bedtime. So it becomes
Yeah.
kind of like give a mouse a cookie thing. So I think keep that on the horizon,
Okay.
but let's work with where you are now. So would
Sure.
it work for you to do this baseline version after you pump for the first time in the morning?
Baseline, yes.
Okay.
The full shower and getting ready, 20 to 30 minutes. I don't know. And honestly, my husband is super supportive.
Mm-hmm.
it would probably just be a matter of brainstorming and like, okay, if you do this, then I do this. And, we need to just kind of shift some things so that he feels like he can have his priorities in place as well.
Sure. Yeah, and we want him to so I love that thing you've worked together, we want him to prioritize his rest too. Um so this is where I feel like let's find a starting place. And the starting place here
Okay.
seems to be for this season is when I'm done doing my first pump of the day, then I'll do my hygiene and get on clean clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if there's any extra time, even a few minutes, maybe that is, hairbrush to your hair, or it's putting on a cute pair of earrings, or the lip balm. Like it could be any of those things and it still feel good.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is where we're starting. It's not where we're gonna always be. Right.
Now, and one thought with that is showering at night might be more realistic at this point.
Yeah.
For some reason, in the morning feels like that's what it should be, but it's like, well, actually, things are a lot more open. I mean, with all the kids, it's not, it's like 9 or 10, but still, like,
Okay.
anyway, just to
So we can do
say,
a
maybe I
two-parter
could,
almost. Like we can have two baselines going on. Like my last pump of the day, I'll shower. Maybe you can say before or after you get to the side. But in the morning, you're getting ready is kind of the funner part, like hygiene,
yeah,
still putting on deodorant, brushing your teeth. And then you have a little bit more time to like jazz it up a bit or add on a little bit more
yeah, mm-hmm.
without having to change the whole family schedule necessarily yet, which can come. It can come.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
how does that feel? We're doing two little baselines, right? That are all about getting ready. Shower at night, quick getting ready in the morning.
yeah. I think that's great. And I like that it's attached to something I'm already doing.
Yeah.
Because then it kind of triggers like, oh, I'm doing this, so now I'm going to do this. Now,
Well,
is this where you talk about, and this might not even be you? I know you say sticky habits, but maybe that's not even what a sticky habit is.
yeah, that's a sticky habit. A sticky habit follows the sticky habit formula, the when then pairing. But we have a when then and after. And what happens after is when you do this, make sure you notice. Make sure you give yourself a pat on the back, whether that's proverbial or literal. Like, take a moment to notice it, to really affirm it in you, because this is just brain hacking. You don't have to affirm forever. But
Yeah.
initially for this, I want you to really make sure you're like, I did it. Like, good job. Give yourself that
Right.
pat. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the WTA, when, then, after. Okay. So with this, obviously, I like want to dig into all the other things because that's just who I am. I like to be in your business. Um, but I'm gonna stop there for myself and say, let's start with this.
Mm-hmm.
Have your greater vision in mind. But remember, honestly, the biggest part of your vision is feeling capable and confident. That is
Yeah.
your guide. It's not the shoulds or prescriptions of what other people are being consistent in or how they're being consistent in it. It's about what
Yeah.
will help you feel those things.
Mm.
And to
Yeah.
help you do that, to have touch points that add that into your day, that can be those consistent touch points so the rest of your life can be flexible and, more reactive in nature. But even those WTAs, like we just shared, have some flexibility with them. They're not all or nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what I want you to do is start there, but I also want you to be in this space of thinking of what other touch points would be helpful for me and my family that I want to gradually focus on, whether that's movement for you or quiet or creative time, like designated time to spend on your projects. For your family, the other things we shared about connecting with your children, okay, and having baseline
Yeah.
versions of connecting. I just did a whole coaching call on
Mm-hmm.
that. That's going to appear on the podcast. But we decided a hug and a kiss is connecting with your kids. You know, that's our baseline way of doing
Yeah.
that night. So, um, or dinner, or school drop off, pickup, those things. So let's have that open mind, what those touch points can be, and work towards those.
I just have to say one thing on the hug thing. My kids have a after school chore list, and one of the things I have on there is give mom a giant hug.
Yeah.
And so, and I love
Giving
it
it.
though because they want to check it off, but then it also is this built-in like connecting point. Anyway,
See, that's a touch point right there. That's a touch point
yeah,
of connection. So maybe
yeah,
it's
that
about
is
adding
true.
one more simple touch point like that that adds connection. Okay, so
Yeah.
that way on the days where you are unpacking and pumping and doing all the things, you can say, I got a hug in the afternoon and I gave them a good night at the end of the night, an individual eyes to eyes, good night, I love you. Like
Yeah.
that's a touch point. And of course, ideally, we want things more like we have a full conversation or I get to trade off in kids and rubbing their back and whatever it may be. But
Yeah.
baselines, they make them more times than not possible.
Yeah. I love that.
So, what do you want to make sure you remember from this call? This is not a test.
Um,
So, it's not a, what did I
this is the
say?
exit quiz.
Yeah, it's
Right?
not a quiz. Just what do you really want to make sure you remember?
I liked that you drilled down to feeling capable and confident, and um the sticky habit of at night when I can, showering, and then in the morning, the sticky habit of after, or anyway, with pumping, like sometime, I guess after that, doing basic hygiene and getting clean clothes on. And then, yeah, that they're like, it's like a grab bag of possibilities of, oh, I have a few more minutes. I can
Yeah,
put
I
on a
like
little
that.
makeup, pick out some earrings, and then I really loved the ideal of the capsule wardrobe and that there could be thought out creativity ahead of time so it's not adding to stress. Yeah, I like that. Even just like, okay, Sunday I can wear this. And if I for date night, I've got this. Like instead of leaving it to the last minute and then it feels stressful and I don't know what to wear and I don't know what's fitting. But so there can be creativity, but then also making sure there's kind of like baseline of like,
Mm.
okay, this is comfortable, it fits me, and I can grab that and go. And I liked how you said maybe eventually shifting schedules, but like for now, dealing with or working with like, well, what's my current schedule and how can I make a sticky habit that will be easier than trying to change a bunch of things
Yes.
as we're starting. So I think
Yes.
there was more,
These are
but those are
great.
some of the basic
Well,
or
you
some
just
of the
passed the quiz. That was not a quiz. I mean, that was a lot. I mean, I think the biggest thing I hope you can take is that these shifts and how you can form a habit that is supportive and a touch point for you can be applied to other things that are going to come with time.
yes,
They give you
yes,
that path forward. And ultimately, that goal of feeling capable and confident, that is what a consistent person is, and that can be you.
yeah. I love that.
Thank you so much for your time today, and let me know how it goes, okay?
Yeah, I really appreciate it, Monica. Yeah, I'm a big principle person because they are flexible and they're you can change with principles, and so I love what you helped me to establish today. That's
Good.
really powerful.
Well
So
done. Well done. That was you. I hope this episode gave you the hug and kick in the pants you need to grow. I'll now share the progress pointers. These are the notes I took so you don't have to, and those on my newsletter get them in a graphic form each week. You can sign up at aboutprogress.com/newsletter. Number 1, when you are trying to be more consistent in certain self-care habits, first define what consistency is and what a consistent person looks like. Level this all with who you are and what season you are in. Number 2, before deciding on a habit, think about how you want to feel more thanks to your consistency with a habit. Those feelings will guide what habits you actually need to prioritize first. Number 3, Once you've chosen that habit or two, cast a vision of your ideal, create a baseline, and then make sure it works with the sticky habit formula. When, then, after. Number 4, people often fear starting with the baseline because they worry they will stay there. But the baseline is what gives you the flexibility to build towards the ideal habit or habits you want the most. And number 5, if you're facing a particularly busy or challenging season, don't forget the importance of having touch points for yourself to feel grounded, like yourself, throughout the day. Baseline versions of those habits will be essential for this season, especially. Your Do Something challenge this week is to select a baseline way to care for yourself. You can just walk through what I did with the progress pointers and apply it to yourself in this busy time that you are in. And if you do the challenge, let me know how it goes for you. I would love to hear. You can DM me on Instagram at About Progress. You can email me at hello@aboutprogress.com. I so enjoy hearing from you. This show is listener supported. Members of the Supporters Club get access to 3 levels of exclusive benefits, including more content and more time with me. My favorite benefit is more personal. My private premium, always ad-free podcast where I lean into the personal side of personal development. All January long on Fridays, you are getting shortened previews of the episodes that are on More Personal this month. And if you sign up as a bestie or ride or die with the code FREEMONTH by February 1st, you will get your first month free and be able to get access to not only More Personal, but all the other benefits that come by joining the Supporters Club. Supporters of About Progress truly make this work possible. You can sign up at aboutprogress.com/support. You can always support the show for free. Keep listening, make sure you have followed or subscribed, share the show with a friend, leave a review. Any of those things are vital to the future of this work. Thank you so much for listening. Now go and do something with what you learned today. You can hear my 6-year-old come. Let me hear you tell him to get occupied elsewhere. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad. I'm almost done. Brad stepped in for a minute.
Awesome.